What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with DFS, bringing you a brand new video. Today's video, I'm going over running back plays to target Week 2's cash main slate. So, if you guys haven't been tuning in this week, kind of have a different format of how I go over pricing. Makes it a little easier for you guys to see, and if you guys subscribe to our package, this is included for you guys to see at all times. So, as you can see on the right side here, green is cash. Yellow is kind of, it's playable, depending on what you want. Orange, value. Tournament plays and then smash plays aren't added in until Saturday and Sunday, and that's for users. So let's get into it. So Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, 3 out of the 4 most expensive running backs. And all of them are viable in cash, right? Christian McCaffrey going against the Rams, where he had a career game last year against them, 3 touchdowns in 3 different ways, over 100 yards against them, and in my opinion, they were frauds against Seattle. But I think this is a matchup where San Fran comes in, smacks him, puts him back down to the Rams that roster is supposed to be played to. So Christian McCaffrey, 8,900 if you want to pay up for the most expensive running back. I think it's a good matchup. I do think there's cheaper options this week, but if you do want to play some high tier running backs, these are the 3 to target. Saquon Barkley going against Arizona was definitely misused in that game, but all of the Giants offense looked terrible. But now they're going against Arizona, who we all know their roster is just terrible at this point. Somehow we're able to get some points against Washington. But, I mean, they still could against the Giants. I think the Giants aren't as good as what they were last year. But Saquon Barkley is definitely a workhorse running back for this team. Going to be used a lot. Third best PFF run blocking advantage. So that's something to look out for. So definitely another playable. And then $100 cheaper is Bijan. Green Bay allowed 33.3 fantasy points to Bears running backs last week. So Bijan got outscored by Tyler Algier last week, but still got 20 fantasy points. So another good play here in a matchup that's looking close. Some pieces being out for Green Bay's offense. So Green Bay's defense is good, but I believe Bijan can be a really good play this week. Travis Etienne here is a tournament play as of right now. Involved in the high total game. Kansas City versus Jacksonville has got, as of right now, 2 points higher than any other total. We'll see where that ends up on Sunday. Got some of the receiving back. I think a lot of people were surprised of how much work he did get last week against the Colts. And we saw what Detroit's running backs were able to do against Kansas City's defense. Now, granted, Jones wasn't there. Jones is now going to be there. So that's why he's a tournament play, not a cash play. But I would definitely get exposure to him if you're playing 150s. Jahmyr Gibbs is kind of between him and Montgomery. It's not decided yet. By Saturday or Sunday when I edit this again, one of these 2 guys is going to be a cash play for me. But as of right now, they're both tournament plays. I think they're both very solid plays. You could play either one, and I wouldn't be disappointed in what happens in that game. It's another high total game, 47 points. Seattle gave up 3 touchdowns to running backs last week. So both David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs in this matchup. 6,300, so $500 pay down to Montgomery if that matters to you in your salary. But I do prefer Gibbs in this matchup than Montgomery. James Conner, 6,200 is a cash play for me right now. Was definitely used as the only good running back on that team. It is a poor matchup, but I still believe when someone gets a lot of volume, all they need is one breakout run. Going to be used in the receiving game. So James Conner, 6,200 is a cash play. James Cook, 6,100 against Vegas. Uses the receiving back. They're really big favorites. Vegas expects, well, the Vegas odds makers expect Buffalo to come out hot and get a lead and pretty much keep that lead. Vegas has been bad defensively against pretty much everything: quarterback, wide receiver, tight end. running back. So don't love James Cook as much in the run game, but I like that he gets the receiving work for Buffalo. So 6,100 could become a catch play as the week goes on, but as of right now, it's pretty much just a tournament play. AJ Dillon down here at 5,900. It seems like Aaron Jones is going to be out this week. Has not practiced, and this video is going out Friday. Aaron Jones has not practiced, so 5,900 AJ Dillon could be a really good play if Jones is out, because they really haven't used Wilson that much, who I believe is their RB3. So AJ Dillon at 5,900 could get a lot of work. It's not the greatest matchup, but I still think they have a favorable matchup against Atlanta. So 5,900, we saw, Carolina's run game looked pretty good. So AJ Dillon at 5,900 could be a really good play. Not confirming it yet until Aaron Jones is confirmed in or out. Ken Walker, 5,800. Another game where Detroit isn't the greatest. I think Kansas City just passes the ball a lot. Their whole offense didn't look comfortable without Kelsey, but I believe Seattle can get the ball going again against this Detroit team, where I believe we saw a huge total last year when these two teams played. So Ken Walker, 5,800. I like it. It's not a cash play, but it is a tournament play. 5,700, Isaiah Pacheco against Jacksonville. Pretty much almost all viable pieces in this game are values to me, right? So Isaiah Pacheco, 5,700. The matchup isn't great, but the high total is what you want. And his price is good. It's 5,700. It's this mid-tier range. I do think there's some other pieces down here that I would rather play than Isaiah Pacheco, but I still think he's a piece that you need to look out for. Could see him have a good game. But down here at 5,600 is Dameon Pierce. Should be a close game. It's within 2 points of the favorite right now. Jacksonville gave up 27.3 fantasy points to running backs. I don't know why that doesn't seem right. I don't know why. I don't know. The only downside is Houston used 3 running backs last week against Baltimore. So that was kind of not good on Dameon Pierce's side. But in this game, I believe this is a game where Dameon Pierce gets the workload. Has a good usage. I think they wanted to use Devin Singletary. I was kind of high on Devin Singletary. Granted, it was 1 week and against Baltimore. Going against Indy is a different situation, but I believe Dameon Pierce 5,600 is a really solid cash play this week. Javonte Williams, Tyler Algier 56 and 5,500. Javonte Williams I like right now. I don't know if I'm going to put him in cash, but I definitely want him in tournaments. Rashard White's here. Dameon Pierce is here. As of right now, I'd rather go those two guys than Javonte. That's why Javonte is a tournament play. If the price was different, if he was cheaper, then it'd be a different story. But he's kind of there next to Pierce and White. So both him and Algier are tournament plays. Poor matchup for him, but his price is good and the upside is high, right? We saw what Javonte Williams could be when healthy, no matter who the opponent was. A lot of forced missed tackles, running very hard. So 5,600, I'd get him in tournaments. I don't know if I'm going to get him in cash. Tyler Algier, 5,500. You can see good RB2 play. Got a lot of volume last week, and that's with Bijan getting some volume as well, especially Bijan being used as kind of a tool player, and a very good matchup for him. So something else to look out for as far as a tournament play is Algier. And then the same price as Rashard White. Chicago allowed a lot of receiving yards to running backs last week, and that's kind of what Rashard White is good for. He's a dual threat running back, can run on the ground and pass catch as well. Didn't get to see it as much last week against Minnesota, but a favorable matchup here where Green Bay got a lot of fantasy points to running backs. A lot. So Rashard White, 5,500 right now is a cash play for me. Khalil Herbert is a value. It's not tournament necessarily, but a value of 5,400. Chicago has a top 10 PFF run advantage grade, so that's kind of where this ties in. Bears used all 3 running backs last week, which is a little worrisome for Khalil Herbert. Tampa has a good defense, but we saw Khalil Herbert have a really good game against Tampa Bay when given the opportunity to start and play that full game, was able to do something most running backs couldn't against Tampa. And then 5,000 Josh Kelly is becoming a play because Austin Eckler's out. So if Austin Eckler's out, Josh Kelly at 5,000 becomes a play. It's not a great matchup against Tennessee, right? They stop the run pretty good. But getting involved in the pass game, which the Chargers do, which Herbert does a lot, is involved in running backs and pass game. Josh Kelly at 5,000 becomes a play. Kyron Williams is just a value play. I don't like this play in tournaments and cash, but it is a value at 5,000, getting a lot of the workload for the Rams. And I won't say a lot. I'd say he got better volume than what Cam Akers did, but it's a terrible matchup against San Fran, but the price is there at 5,000. Justice Hill and Gus Edwards up here. 5,300 Gus Edwards. I missed him and I apologize. 4,900 Justice Hill. Waiting to see kind of the practice notes of both Baltimore running backs to kind of decide, but I kind of see them both as tournament plays, not cash plays, but they both can be used, definitely. I like Deion Jackson without Zach Moss. I think this was a good matchup for Indy running backs. But as you can see here, Zach Moss at 4,700 practicing, and by the notes and stuff from coaches, it sounds like Zach Moss is going to get the majority of snaps for Indy. And being good in the receiving game is a plus for him. So 47, like we could have 4,700 Zach Moss against Houston, 5,000 Josh Kelly as your 2 running backs this week for lineup. So that's something to watch out for. I do have value in Roschon Johnson. I believe he takes over the running back room for the Bears. 4,900 got outscored the other 2 Bears running backs used in the receiving game. So 4,900 Roschon Johnson is a value play for me. It's a piece that I would get in tournaments. I wouldn't get a lot of exposure, but it's something to look out for. Tajay Spears, another value piece for me at 4,600. In my opinion, he's just a more explosive running back for Tennessee right now. That's not saying that Derrick Henry is getting old or anything. I just think when you see Tajay Spears run the ball and Derrick Henry, they both have different styles of running, and Tajay Spears has a style that I like better than Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry is still going to get his rushing attempts. He's still going to get some targets. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying fade Derrick Henry. I just like Tajay Spears. That's my thing. So that is it for running backs for this week on DraftKings. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I will get back to you on whatever that may be. If you guys are interested in joining us, the link for the Discord will be down in the description below, so check that out, and I will see you guys in the next one.